we all ready? In just a moment, if you could just be patient with us. We have one board member that's joining us via phone. All right, are we ready to? All right, I'd like to call the board meeting, the 1,417th regular board meeting of Modesto City School Board to order. And in closed session, the board gave direction to staff regarding next steps, and that was a vote of 6-1. The board also approved a settlement and a vote of 6-1. All right. If we could stand for a moment of silence. Right, thank you. Continue standing. I'd like to introduce our board representative, and please join me in welcoming Shelby Benz as our student representative to the Board of Education for this academic school year, 2018-2019. Shelby comes to us from Modesto High School, where she's a very high achieving senior in their highly acclaimed International Baccalaureate program, the IB program. Shelby's an extremely involved student in Modesto High School as well as in the community. She has competed as a varsity player for the last 3 years on Modesto High's volleyball team. She serves as director of the ASB Commissions and was their treasurer for the last 3 years. She is president of Panthers for a Cure, which is a student group that's working to raise funds and awareness for cancer patients and research. She's also president of the Journalism Club at school, and then involved in Modesto Cares, which is a club at Modesto High that raises funds for those in need. And so I'd like to give a warm round of welcome to Shelby. She's a classmate of my son, so I'm very excited. We're very excited, and she comes to us after a very interesting summer this summer with spent some time at the New York Times. So if you could lead us in the pledge, that'd be great.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, Shelby. All right. Right, that takes us to the announcements portion of the agenda, and I don't believe we have any announcements at this time other than the one I just made, which we are a full complement of the board tonight because we have our student representative, and now we have John Irvin III joining us. It is his first full board meeting. Welcome, John. So John was appointed and then waited that 30 days, and it just happened to fall like right after one of the meetings. So it seemed like we appointed you ages ago, but we're so glad to have you with us up here tonight. So thank you for welcoming him. All right, this takes us to the approval of the consent agenda. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on an item that is on the consent agenda? Seeing none, are there any trustees who have any questions or concerns about any items? All right, I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll move.
All right, it's been moved by Trustee Walker and seconded by Trustee West. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And you know what? We have to do a roll call vote, as that was the other announcement we have. We have Cindy Marks. Trustee Cindy Marks is on the phone. Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
She's here. So she is joining us from Tahoe, and she's on the phone tonight. So that means we have to call the roll on each vote. So again, if we could vote on that, then if you would call the roll on it.
I'll just go front or the back? I'll just start right here. So Trustee Brown? Trustee Lopez? Aye. Trustee Marks?
Aye.
Trustee Newman?
Aye.
Trustee Walker?
Aye.
Trustee West?
Aye.
Trustee Irvin?
Aye.
All right, then the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. This takes us on to the next item, which is approval of order of discussion action items.
President Newman?
yes.
I'd like to introduce the translator for anyone that needs translation services.
Thank you for reminding me. Yes, thank you.
I'd like to introduce Maria Lovato. So for those that needs translation services, you can go up.
Para cualquier persona que necesite intérpretes, servicios de intérpretes, si gustan pasar aquí con uno de estos dispositivos, estaré interpretando simultáneamente. Gracias.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right. And at this time, I want to read, before we go down to the next item, I want to read the statement on the period for public comment. I want to call your attention to the fact that if you wish to address the board during the period for public comment, and I'm getting a number of cards, on a subject not on the agenda, you must complete a public presentation card request and submit it to the board president prior to the period for public comment, which is a couple items down on the agenda. Only those who have submitted cards will be called upon to speak, and no cards will be accepted after the period for public comment has begun. Every person who wishes to address the board must fill out a card. You will find the cards in the lobby. The period for public comment is limited to 30 minutes. Time will be allotted equally to individuals based on the number of request cards submitted. The maximum time for any one speaker is 3 minutes. I also want to remind you that if you wish to make a complaint against a specific district employee, you should follow the district's personnel complaint procedure. Copies of that procedure are also available in the lobby, as are agenda copies, which outline the procedures which we will observe during the period for public comment. The right to address the board does not exempt the speaker from any potential liability for defamation. The law limits the response of board members and prohibits the board from taking any action. All right, this takes us down to the approval of order of action, discussion action items. Is there any anyone wishing to comment on the order of discussion action items on the agenda tonight in the public? Seeing none, we'll go back to the board. Are there any questions or comments on that? I'm looking for a motion for approval of the order of discussion action items. So moved by Trustee Brown and then seconded by Trustee Walker. And we'll again call the roll on that.
Student Board Member Benz? Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Irvin?
Aye.
Trustee Lopez?
Aye.
Trustee Marks?
Aye.
Trustee Walker?
Aye.
And Trustee West?
Aye.
And President Newman?
Aye. All right, the motion passes unanimously, and that takes us on to the period for public presentation. The first speaker card I have is Mac Wilson. Mr. Wilson. I saw him. There you are. Good evening. Good. All right. Good evening.
Mac Wilson, I'm the president of Advocate for Justice. And I want to thank you for sending me that information I requested last week. That's the first time they ever sent me anything without me paying for it, but thank you again, and I thank the secretary too. I just want to say, and congratulations to John and new superintendent. I forgot to do that last week. I was so nervous. I just want to say, I hope and pray that we have a better year this year. We love our kids like you love your kids. They have all our kids. They're the future. And we're being denied equal education. I can prove everything I'm saying. And we need good qualified teachers. Just because you have a teacher credential don't mean you're a good teacher. And we should love all the kids. I spent 21 years in the Air Force, and I seen some things I don't want to see no more. And I raised my son, them twins, when they were 2.5 years old. and they tried to deny me letting them get into preschool, but I got in. I qualified, and I've been working with this board since 1960, and it's the fourth black person I've seen come on this board, and we need somebody to represent us. We all need somebody to represent us, and I hope and pray that we have a successful and a wonderful school year this year. I'm willing to work with you. I don't want to work against you. You know, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. All right, that's Jacques Wilson. Good evening.
Good evening. Am I dreaming? You know, I just want to say that the composition of the board has really changed. And, you know, I know that AFJ has been very critical of the board in the past, but I'm also one to give a compliment when it's deserved. And I want to begin by just saying again, my name is Jacques Wilson. I'm a co-founder of Advocates for Justice, and I want to welcome the new superintendent, all the new trustees, and just to let you guys know that Advocates for Justice is here to work with you. It's kind of interesting because it feels like it's going full circle. In 2012, when I came to you guys after Mr. Irving was fired from his position, and we did a lot of public records requests, then we went down a dark road, and you know, finally, the nightmare has turned into a living dream. You know, and so I just want to say that, you know, we think Modesto City Schools is moving in the right direction. They made a lot of positive steps in the last year. You know, Thurgood Marshall once said that the law can force open doors and knock down walls, but it can't build bridges, and that job belongs to me and you. And I just want to say that by the school board, or the school board appointing Mr. Irvin to this position, we see that as building a bridge to the community. And we wish it would have happened a long time ago, but we don't want to live in the past. We want to live in the present. We want to move forward. And if you came here with AFJ tonight to support Mr. Irvin in this appointment, can you just please stand up so that the board can recognize you? And so we just want you to know that, you know, AFJ has been around. You guys may sit down. Thank you very much. AFJ has been around forever. Jaku and I went to from Franklin Elementary School to high school. I still wear my high school ring. We're going to be around here until I die, so hopefully I got another 40 or 50 years. But I just want to thank you, and I just want you to know that we're here to work with you, and that, you know, we believe that equity is a team sport. Am I done? I'm sorry. Did I go over?
Nope.
Not quite.
Okay, good.
You're good.
You know, I want to get off on a good start this time. Okay.
You're good.
So we believe that equity is a team sport, and we just want you to know that we are here to help Modesto City Schools deliver on its promise of an equal education opportunity for all. We just received a grant from the Modesto District, and it's a community block grant, and so we're going to be doing tutoring at our Spencer property on Mondays and Fridays, as well as offering other services for all students, not just black students. A lot of times AFJ gets labeled as just helping black students, but we help all students regardless of race, ethnicity, or socioeconomic status. So if there's anyone that you have a problem with and they need some mentoring, or they need some encouragement, or they need some tutoring, you guys know how to get a hold of us, and Mr. Irvin surely knows how to get a hold of us. And so thank you very much, and we look forward to a beautiful future. Thank you.
Thank you. Jacques Wilson. Oh, okay. Ruby Kennedy. Good evening.
Good evening, and I thank you for allowing me to say a few words, and because I always have such a long-winded kind of way about me. But nevertheless, I'm standing here because I do want to congratulate John. John and I'm like his mother that's on the scene. And he and I have gone with the Dr. Parker's committee when we first started. I worked with the Modesto community for years and years. I came in 1961, and I have not stopped really in doing something. And I just want to thank you for allowing him, and I expect for you to be kind and trust him and teach him the proper way that you're supposed to do as a counselor, as a committee person. And we just want wonderful things. We're expecting that. We're positive thinkers. We really are. And I say we because I am with Jock, who they're my stepsons, and Jock Wilson. So I do want to say that I do expect great things from John because I've known him. He has a great history in this city of Modesto, and that's important when you're talking about love Modesto. That that's the greatest thing that we scream and holler every year, love Modesto, and I do. And as a result, I don't just sit by and talk. I am a woman of action. I'm 83, but I still am on the road for doing what's right. And I love you, John, and I expect great things from you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Rebecca Ray. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, President of the Board, Board Trustees, and Superintendent Noguchi. My name is Rebecca Ray. I am the Market Business Development Manager for Barnes & Noble in the Central Valley region. I am excited to partner with your schools and education departments this year by offering our services at our Modesto store to showcase your district's accomplishments. Last week, I met all Modesto City District High School librarians at Bayer High to discuss how B&N offers a streamlined ordering process and world-class customer service, but also inform them of how our local B&N store hosts multiple author signing events each year and how we can together foster love of reading. I sent information to all librarians on how to access free ebooks to all Title I funded schools to allow access and equity for all in your district. I'm looking forward to assisting with district-wide literacy projects in your libraries or individual site book clubs. Congrats to the 70 new teachers onboarded this year. And just as a reminder, it is Educator Appreciation Days at all locations at barnesandnoble.com and at all stores, where pre-K through 12th grade educators receive an everyday 20% discount in our stores. And every weekend this month, we are offering an extra 5% discount on personal purchases for a total savings of 25%. I'm working with Christy Masters to help disseminate this information to all sites, so thank you for that. And it's almost like having an employee discount in our stores. And it's free because our company appreciates all the hard work it takes in educating the students in our communities, and happy first day of school to all. For secondary education, our Modesto team would be happy to work with each site in acquiring your English department's required reading lists, ordering the exact titles and creating in-store displays, making it easy for your families to shop. We would be happy to have this list at our customer service desk so that families can simply let us know who their child's teacher is, and we can provide them with the title or titles that correspond with the class. For elementary education, we are continuing to give free books to any 1st through 6th grade students for completing our summer reading journal now through September 3rd. As students are coming back today, teachers are most welcome to let them know that they will be rewarded in our McHenry location for their efforts in reading this summer. Our teams provide their expertise in ELD titles and are able to find books that serve as windows and mirrors for your district's multicultural demographic. We are also able to suggest bilingual Spanish novels, storybooks, and more so that we can help eliminate any barriers in learning. This year, it is my goal to assist in fundraising for special projects for your sites. Together with the Superintendent's Office for Stockton USD, our Stockton store was able to give away 4 boxes of school supplies to an underserved school with a Stuff the Bus event on August 4th, along with our local Stockton Kings basketball team. I will identify the needs of your sites and work with your site administration to make a positive impact for your students through it with corporate sponsorship. I wish everyone a happy, successful back-to-school season, and I look forward to meeting and working with you this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Trina Burton Stottenborough? Oh, almost.
Hi. I am here representing Modesto Area Aquatic Club, and I wanted to acknowledge a couple folks. Our MJC pool had some issues, and we were in a bind, and we're able to collaborate with your facilities program. And I came here to acknowledge Dwayne and Roger, and thank you guys for all of you that you've done. We're currently swimming. We have 125 swimmers that are at Modesto High School, and the custodial staff there are fabulous, and I just want to thank your program and the collaboration. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for coming in and letting us know. I hope that the pool is up and running soon. We need all of our pools. So they're full of kids. Ours are going to be full of kids soon.
Shortage of pools, but we're working around your schedule. So we actually swim in the morning before you guys come to school, and we swim in the evenings after water polo. So
Great.
appreciate it.
Thank you for coming in. Thank
right.
you. All right. This is Sebastian Jones.
All right, good afternoon, board. My name is Sebastian Jones here. I'm here, I guess I represent 5 different boards in this town, 7 days a week. The LCR, the Abbott for Justice, the Parker, and I could go on, but I'm not. But I'm just going to say this here. I am so proud to see a diversity. We're still striving. It's good. Mr. Lopez and Mr. Irvin, and who is the superintendent I have not met? Oh, there she go. Well, how you doing? All right, I'm Sebastian Jones. I have not met, but I did kind of meet you in the newspaper. All right. Well, this is good. So I just want to let you know that this is what we're talking about. You know, when I'm dealing with the Cambodians, the Iman, and the Vietnamese, I'm around this whole town.
Good.
So let's keep doing a good job. And John Irvin, you keep on throwing me these questionnaires and teaching me. That's good. I've been with John Irvin with the kids, I don't know, way back. I'm still part of it, you know, and he always teach me something. You always learn every day. And I'm older than him, but I'm still going to learn, though. But anyway, once again, I want to thank this board. And I just wanted to just come up and say my little piece. And to our new superintendent, too. And welcome to Modesto.
Thank you. All right. Then I haven't seen Jacques Wilson come in because that's my last card. And so the speaker time's over. Are we good? All right. He's here in spirit. Wanted to be here, but we'll go ahead and close out their public period for public presentations. I want to thank each of you for coming tonight and for just adhering to our protocols for the public comment. And we appreciate each of your comments. We appreciate each of you to come tonight. Thank you so much. All right, this takes us to the first item on the agenda, which is the student representative to the board report. And so this student representative, Shelby Benz, if you have a report. So you poke the little button, and then that puts your mic on, and then after you get done talking, you want to turn the little button off.
Okay. Testing 1 2 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. I'm looking forward to serving on the board this year. Additionally, I am excited to lead the Inter-High Council through various projects and initiatives to increase spirit and connectivity amongst the high schools of our district. A couple times over the summer, I have had the opportunity to work with former student trustee Lila Jimenez to consolidate some of the projects for this year. I am currently in the process of filling out paperwork to book the Tuolumne River Regional Park as part of a 5K move-a-thon fundraiser for various local charities. And I have communicated with Mr. Godot, Ms. Fortuna, and Mr. Rich in determining the best means of distribution for the student district newsletter to spearhead various events and activities throughout the year. And most all high schools have some sort of donation drive or can drive, so we were going to try to tap into that and somehow make a district-wide competition this year. So
Great.
High hopes for the future. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And thank you. Well, welcome to the board. We're very excited to have you. Good job. And out in the audience, I see your mentor and our past student representative, and so she must be headed off to North Carolina soon. Go Blue Devils, right? Go Duke. So we'll be cheering you on from here. So hopefully you keep us posted on all your amazing accomplishments as you head forth. So thank you, Ms. Benz, and thank you, Lila, for helping her this summer getting ready for this. All right, this takes us to the Modesto Teachers Association, and Mr. Burton's coming to the podium. Good evening.
Good evening, President Newman, Superintendent Noguchi, trustees, and cabinet. With me this evening, I'd like to introduce Kelly Blanc. She's the chair of our Public Relations Committee. Last spring, you heard a report about the scholarships that our scholarship committee gives away. Kelly is going to tell you a little bit about our student recognition program and the monies that we give back to the community and students. So, Kelly Blanc.
Good evening.
Good evening. It is a true pleasure to speak to you this evening. And as Doug said, I'm Kelly Blanc, and I'm chair of the Public Relations Committee. This is also my 22nd year teaching for Modesto City Schools. I think you hired me when I was 12. I'm sticking to that. All right. As an association, we say that we're stronger together. But the truth is, we're stronger when we are together, when we work with the school board, when we work with the other teachers, when we work with the community. And on that thought, I'd like to share some of the things that we do to support our schools. For instance, Modesto Teachers Association has a student recognition program. And the association supports programs pre-K to 12. And these are programs that are not funded by our district. They're funded by MTA. We have guidelines. There's basically 3 guidelines. MTA recognizes students for academic achievement and good citizenship. 2, programs helping to create success for at-risk students. And 3, MTA supports programs that support increased high school graduation or enhance educational opportunities. And here are some examples. This is what I mean. Oh, that's better. MTA supported Modesto Elementary School with a $300 grant. And this money promoted a teacher-led program rewarding students who were respectful, responsible, and made safe choices. MTA also supported La Loma Junior High PE classes. It's called the Stars and Bars program. We donated about $600. And this program, actually, students earn stars for good character traits, where the stars are adhered to their PE clothing. And different colored stars and bars represent different things that they've earned. MTA also supported Davis High School and funded a reward system which provided bookmarks in the library, which promotes positive behavior, reading comprehension, and study skills. And the charitable donation was $300. This is all just last year. MTA donated to Bayer High School, a teacher-led program recognizing outstanding citizenship, where families and friends are an integral part of the celebration. In fact, we're told that many teachers and families believe the awards ceremony is one of the favorite activities of the year. And MTA donated $800 for this amazing event. And I believe Jennifer James, who's sitting behind me, is in charge of that event. Is that true? Maybe. All right, I'll continue. And one last example of our student recognition program is that Modesto Teachers Association supports Elliott Alternative Education. We supported hardworking and tenacious seniors from Elliott who graduated by paying for their chartered bus to go to a field trip. And that cost $600. So that's just a sampling of what we've done in the past year, and we've been doing this for years and years and years. But as I began, we are stronger when we work with the community as well. So for instance, we also supported the community, and here's a sampling of what we donated to last year. We donated $500 to Measure S to save the libraries for Stan County. We donated another $500 to the Women's Auxiliary for Jazz in the Valley scholarships. We donated $500 to MAPS, which is Modesto Area Partners in Science Activities. Another $500 went to Stanislaus Math Council. MTA donated $200 to the Peace Life Center for the Martin Luther King commemoration event. And a month later, MTA donated to the Modesto Peace Life Center again for their Peace Essay Contest with a charitable contribution of $500. And I actually attended that event. It was really rewarding to see our own students from MCS read their essays and earn awards. And of course, our donation went to the awards and for the snacks, and there are other students in the community who had attended other districts who had awards as well. And another example is that MTA donated $500 to Rebecca's Closet last year. And Becca's Closet is a national nonprofit which donates gently used prom dresses to young ladies who can't afford one. And now, I get a little emotional when I talk about this. If you've ever been there, it's pretty amazing to see these young ladies who want to be involved in at a school event and can't because they can't afford it. And so it's really nice to be able to, to support the community with $500 to help make their dreams come true. Okay, so in a nutshell, I know I've been talking a lot. MTA's charitable acts are performed without the expectation of any monetary reward. We build goodwill and we create relationships between the community and our association. Our desire is to make Stan County even better and to improve the quality of everybody's life. And we just don't love Modesto one day a year, we love Modesto every day of the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, MTA and Mr. Burton and Ms. Blanc for sharing those things with us. I learned something about your charitable work in the community. Thank you very much for what you do, and thanks for coming and let us know about it. I appreciate that. That was a very positive report. This takes us to the California School Employees Report. Do we have one tonight? All right. Thank you, Laws. All right, this takes us to the approval of the proclamation declaring the week of August 12th through the 18th as 2018 as National Health Center Week. And Superintendent Noguchi, do we have a staff report on this or just someone from the audience? All right.
I'm sorry, we didn't prepare a summary of it. If you would like, I could read through this, the resolution itself.
No, I think it speaks for itself, but is there someone oh, you guys, all right. So would you like to come up are you from Golden Valley? Great. I was expecting to see Yamilet, so I didn't recognize her face.
I'm Michelle and I'm with Golden Valley Health Centers, and we originated in 1974 in Merced.
Could you move the microphone down? I think we're having trouble hearing you.
I'm awful loud though. Can you hear me now?
That's better,
okay.
Yeah.
So we originated in 1974 in Merced, and we started with a small medical and dental facility, and then we became Golden Valley Health Centers. Our first school site was in 1993 at the Robertson Road School Facility. We had medical and dental. In 2013, we had a separate modular put on the school site to treat just dental. In 1994, we put a medical and dental site on the Hanshaw School site. And then it burnt down. You were all aware of the fire in 2014. And we rebuilt to where now we could treat more patients. We rebuilt the dental department with 7 chairs.
Great.
And as part of that, we treat, there's in Modesto, we have 57% Medi-Cal, low income. So everybody could come to us. And with that being said, having the school sites is such a blessing because we could see the students, we work with the school nurses and the counselors, and we're in the community so that way they have a place to come. National Healthcare Week is a big part of that. Every day this week we're going to be out doing different things in the community. Tomorrow we'll be at Manteca. Today we're in Newman. And so it's really an honor that we could accept this proclamation for Golden Valley.
Great. So you are on, I know you're on Robertson Road and Hanshaw. Are you on any of our other campuses?
We have Empire.
Empire. I thought it was just the 2. All right. Thank you so much. Are there any questions? Oh, I've got 2 lights up. So I'm going to go with Trustee Lopez first.
No questions for me. I just wanted to thank the work that Golden Valley has done, especially for South and West Modesto community. I know you guys been a great resource and allies to community residents. In my personal experience, my health provider for many years growing up. So I thank you for all the awesome work and all that you bring to our communities and to our school-based sites.
Thank you. Anyone else?
And then Trustee Brown.
I also don't have a question, but a big thank you. And I would like to encourage the rest of the board, if you haven't been to these facilities, please stop in. You'll be amazed at what is offered on our school campuses for families that don't have access to health care. And just to go in and see the caring individuals that are there and the level of work that is done, it's amazing.
Great.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. All right. And any more comments from the public? All right. Then come back to the board. See if Trustee Marks, you still with us? Maybe not.
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Because we were gonna call a roll if you weren't. All right, let's go ahead.
Student
Oh
trust.
wait, we need a motion first. Yeah. You want to make a motion, Trustee Lopez?
I'll make the motion.
Oh wait, actually, Trustee Lopez beat you to it, so you can second his motion.
I'll second it.
All right. The motion has been made by Trustee Lopez and seconded by Trustee Marks, and then Superintendent will call the roll.
Student trustee Benz. Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Irvin.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Trustee Marks.
Aye.
Trustee Walker.
Aye.
Trustee West.
Aye.
President Newman.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously, and so we're happy to do that. Thank you for your work and supporting our students in the community, our school community. Thank you so much. All right, that's the, yes. All right, before we move on to the next agenda item, I have a card that I'm not sure when it arrived. I just found it on this pile here. Dr. Herrera, did you submit a card early? Yes.
It was on time.
It was? Okay, because I'm sorry, it must have gotten placed here, so we'll go ahead and acknowledge.
Hi, good evening, board, and good evening, Dr. Noguchi. So basically, on behalf of the United Black Student Unions of California, to which I'm the state treasurer and local treasurer, we just wanted to say a huge congratulations to Mr. John Irving. My heart is filled, honestly, that this board, again, is becoming so diversified, and the lenses to which you are now, looking, I guess, is definitely, again, like I said, fills my heart. So my children are of color, as am I, and so it is comforting to know that as they grow up, they will be in schools where there are people really looking out for them and their best interests, and really have true experience in walking the walk and talking the talk, and doing the job that it takes to raise everyone's children and to educate everyone's children. Executive Director Ryan Smith of Ed Trust West said that equity is the new coconut water. Everybody is talking about it, but not everyone is drinking it. And I think it's actually kind of fitting, actually, in today's times period, but it looks like there's a few more cups of coconut water sitting on this board. And so I definitely think that we are in a very good upward movement, and I look forward to what's to come with not only the new representation here, but our new superintendent. So thanks again.
Thank you. All right, that takes us on to item B5, which is a report on the first day of school, and I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Noguchi.
Wonderful, thank you. So this is going to truly be a team effort tonight. Myself and Cabinet will be presenting information to you around today's events, which is the first day of my tenure here as superintendent of Modesto City Schools, and also the first day of the school year. The purpose of the presentation is threefold. First, we're going to outline the preparation it took for opening of schools. As you know, the preparation for today really began last fall and into the winter with decisions that the board made, and certainly through the summer. We're going to report some facts and some details about today, as we were all out there at multiple schools along with the senior directors. I think we hit the majority of the schools, and then also share some responses from our community. Like I said, this is a team effort. It's not just one individual department. It's not focused on an individual person, but thousands of individuals coming together to make Modesto City Schools what it is. Human Resources will share some information about the hiring practices and training. Business Services, Maintenance and Operation, as you know, have been humming along all summer, and they will continue. Transportation and Nutritional Services went off without a hitch today, which is excellent, and Mr. Zerley will share some information there. Special Education Services is going to be covered by Ms. Mack today, along with Education Services.
Good evening. So it's my pleasure to be able to share with you by the numbers, the sheer numbers that represent all the employees of Modesto City Schools, and the total number is 4,356 currently in the system, and that's split roughly down the middle in terms of classified and certificated, 1,635 certificated, 1,645 classified, with just short of 200 managers, both classified and certificated. Our certificated substitutes, 436, and classified substitutes, 442. Maybe a little high, as we are in the process now of tightening down those lists. People who were on our sub list last year that we haven't pulled off of the list because we want to make sure they're not going to sub for us and pull them off prematurely. But overall, if you think about the impact of one employee, one teacher, one support staff member, one manager that they can have throughout their local community, the sheer numbers of our district, you can think of the impact that we can have and the force we are as an employer in Stanislaus County. In terms of our new hires, these are employees hired since or effective July 1st, 2018 and moving forward. 94 certificated staff members, 47 classified positions, and 14 managers hired effective July 1. For training over the summer, August 2nd, 3rd, and 6th for certificated staff, we had a 3-day training which included sexual harassment prevention, classroom management strategies. They received their district-issued Surface Pro devices and the training necessary to access Outlook, PowerSchool, and the technology they need to start the year. Day 2, special education staff members learned about the SACE system, and other new staff learned about the Future Ready initiative and related resources specific to their content areas with curriculum. Day 3, new staff met at their respective school sites or department locations. They had a chance to have some extra time with their administrators, followed by extra work time to prepare their rooms. Last but not least, we, for the first time, embarked on some training for our certificated new substitute teachers so that they have some common strategies for classroom management as they go out and take the place of our regular classroom teachers when they're needed, as well as the substitute experience, sharing some common best practices so that it's a win-win. They're more effective, and in turn, we'll be more effective, and ultimately the students will benefit.
Good evening. I'm proud to highlight the role of business services and the many accomplishments we had over the summer in support of our students' education. Beginning with maintenance and operations, this division is led by Senior Director Roger Orth, and as Dr. Noguchi pointed out, much of the planning for these last 2 months took hold in the last 6 months. So this goes back. We're already planning for next summer right now, now that this summer is over. But again, Roger's crew, his dedicated employees, the men and women of maintenance and operations, look forward to the summer months. And not because students are gone, but it's our time to get into the facilities, onto the sites, and make the necessary improvements for the upcoming school year. And the picture, I just want to highlight this picture before I talk about the numbers real quick. This is Beard Elementary School, and many of our schools and many of our elementary schools were built in an era that really welcomed community, family members, really anyone to come on to the campus. A lot of our elementary schools are not built with single points of entry or single points of access. Beard Elementary School was one of those, and so what we did is we added the door on the left. The door on the right was in existence. Anybody could walk down that corridor, and if they chose not to enter the office, they could keep on going. So we thought, how can we improve the safety of our students and staff by adding single points of entry? So we added the door on the left, that we installed the gate that you see, or the fence in the middle. So parents, volunteers, anyone that comes in after the start of the school day will be forced to go into the office, the door on the left, sign in, register, and then exit out on the door on the right. That's what we refer to as a single point of entry or single access point. This same project was done at Beard Elementary, Kirshen Elementary, and La Loma Junior High School this summer. So we're very pleased to highlight the fact that 3 of our schools now have been addressed with single points of entry, and visitors will have to go in, be forced to go in and register. We realize we have many more, again, because of the age of our facilities, when they were built, the era they were built. We have more work to do, and we will continue to do this until we can have a solution for each school to make the staff and students more safe and secure. As you can see on the left, we completed roughly 24 summer projects this year, or we're in the process of completing at 16 school sites. It's estimated to be, once it's completed, over $29 million worth of work. And again, we have to say thank you to the board for allowing us the allocation of these funds to address various needs, very important needs at our school sites. And I can't highlight them all. I wish I could. But again, we wanted to point out ones that are very important to us, which will come in the pictures here. The one in the top left, that is Sonoma Elementary School. The entire school had the air conditioning and heating, or HVAC, equipment replaced this year. The school was shut down over the summer. We are pleased to say that school resumed today to welcome back students, but we're very happy that the whole school at Sonoma Elementary had the HVAC equipment replaced. The one in the top upper middle, that's the new cafeteria at Burbank. And the little girl you see in the middle there with the backpack on, that was the first student that went through the new line, the new breakfast line this morning. It was very well received, very well welcomed, not only by the students, but all the parents and community members that showed up on the school site this morning to take their students to school. On the right-hand side, that is the culinary arts program at Downey High School. That is actual class instruction that was going on today, first day of instruction. Just wanted you to see, just to see what that looks like, and in support of culinary arts. And then the lower left, those are 12 new classrooms that were added at Roosevelt Junior High School over the summer. So again, just to highlight some things that were accomplished. One thing I forgot to mention, but back to the access points, those were done by our staff. We have carpenters, we have locksmiths, we have welders. So what you saw in that last picture, and then also what happened at the other two school sites, were completed over this summer by our staff. Transportation, as Dr. Noguchi pointed out, I was not made aware of any emergency issues today. I'm not going to suggest that there wasn't any parents that maybe were not happy with the transportation service, but we were not made aware of it. So, and we do not have first day numbers for transportation. We did not have them prepared for today, but you can see some information here. We have 56 buses in the fleet. Today we had 42 routes. We travel daily about 2,849 miles, and we carry over 5,000 students a day on transportation. The picture that was taken at 5:35 this morning. That was the first bus we had pulling out of the yard at 5:35 a.m. So that was pretty exciting to see that. And again, I just want to highlight, I don't believe you've had the opportunity to meet our new supervisor. Stacy Hooven is the new transportation supervisor. Last week we completed 4 days of training, and I'd like to express my gratitude to the staff, to the CSEA bargaining unit, that we were able to add in-service days or professional development days to the bus drivers, to the transportation staff. We had them Tuesday through Friday. This was the last day. This was on Friday. And somebody commented on this picture and said, well, they look happy. And they were. I mean, this was after 4 days of training. And they were very happy. It's a different, it's a very positive environment this year, led by the leadership of Stacy Hooven. And I think that's a result of why we did not have any major issues today, because they planned for 4 days. They planned for this day, and they were well prepared for it. I'm proud to report that. Nutrition Services, led by Senior Director Chris Atwell. Again, 3 days of training were provided to the Nutrition Services staff. Meals served today, 4,135 breakfasts, 14,991 lunches. The breakfasts were up 20% over the first day last year, and the lunches were up 5.9% over the first day last year. Now, we've reported and you probably are adding these up in your head, but we've reported 24,000 meals a day. That's average of what we serve. And you're probably thinking, well, how can we be up when we didn't serve 24,000? It's 24,000 on average for the whole year. First week, it's always lower. It builds up as students become more comfortable with the cafeteria, more comfortable with where they go to get their lunch, what time to go to get their lunch. But first day, year over year, we did see an increase. And again, I think I need to point out, through the direction of Chris Atwell, we are now what is referred to as the Community Eligibility Program. That is universal free meals at all but 3 school sites. And so that is something I think we should be very proud of. I saw it today at the school sites I visited. Students at all but 3, which would be Bayer, Grigori, and Enox high schools. Any other school, any other student gets free breakfast and free lunch. And again, that's based on the leadership of Chris Atwell and the planning for that. And the picture here that I'd like to point out, that is Johansson. That was remodeled. Again, that was remodeled by our own department, our own workers. And you can see what the students at Johansson High School got to come back to for their cafeteria. We will be monitoring. We do realize we are now universal free at many of our schools. We've heard some lines today may have been a little slower than in the past. That could be just first day, or that could be more students are accessing the food because it is now free. We will be monitoring that as we move forward, and I'm confident Chris and his team will make adjustments where needed to keep the time in lines down to a minimum. So again, I'm very pleased and proud to recognize the achievements of business services this summer.
Special education had a great first day today. We welcomed 4,282 students with IEPs this school year and set up 610 students with moderate severe disabilities to receive transportation from our contracted vendor store transportation. The special education office provided robust professional development to the multitude of different certificated staff within the district. This included training in visible learning, new curriculum for students in moderate severe classrooms, assistive technology, and augmentative communication training for our speech therapists, how to access educationally related mental health services, assessing for special circumstances, individual assistance, SELPA procedural changes, and legal training in assessments and reports. Excuse me. There are a lot of moving parts for our students with disabilities, special accommodations to the certified and classified special education staff at school sites, and making the day a successful one. Excuse me. Accommodations for them. I already turned it, thanks. Ed Service has had an extremely successful professional development during this summer and the start of the school year. The Connected Educator Conference spanned 5 days from June 4th through the 6th and July 30th through the 31st. 55 teachers in June and another 66 in July attended the Connected Educator. Topics for the sessions included Nearpod, OneNote, Desmos, Google Apps, Office 365, feedback tools, Schoology, and discussion boards, Surface Pro, multimedia presentations, and Sway. We also had some presenters from Microsoft, which was a wonderful opportunity for our teachers. On August 7th and 8th, approximately 590 K-6 classroom teachers, computer literacy, prep providers, music teachers, and special educators spent 2 days at Enox High School for district-provided professional development. Site administrators facilitated professional development on the FAIR Act, mandated reporter training, and walked teachers through the contents of the first day folders. They also received writing instruction and math fluency standards during their time at Enox. Along with that, K-6 and 712, all grades worked with Kristen Anderson, a consultant who worked with John Hattie, the author of Visible Learning. We received her for a full day. We will also be coming back to the board with a more in-depth report on our professional development. Future ready. We have 15,873 devices that are now checked out. We have 2,000 yet to be checked out to our students, and we're excited to be able to provide 7th through 12th grade students with devices. We do have a few issues going on with our new curriculum on the Cengage, but it looks like it's more on the teacher side than the student side. It looks like it's working for the students. As we know, we need to do the implementation along with a digital access with ALD and the AP US History. We're happy to work with Brad Godot, is really focusing on this and looking at each issue and making sure it's some of the issues that we had last week have already been solved, and so we have only a few more issues to solve.
Okay, we were out and about today taking pictures of first day festivities, and it may seem a little odd as to why we have this picture, these sets of pictures up for first day festivities. However, again, we're proud of the response that district staff had yesterday on a Sunday to an event at Mark Twain Junior High School. We were notified, we got notification around 12:30 yesterday afternoon that there was a fire, the fire department was responding to Mark Twain Junior High School. And so obviously, knowing what happened recently at one of our elementary schools, as I was driving across town to get there, I was just trying to wonder, okay, what was it going to look like when I got there the day before school starts? And thankfully, there was quick response from the fire department. What you're looking at in the middle, that's the outside of what I guess would be the southwest corner of the wing that runs along California Avenue. So just behind that is the gymnasium. And so that's the outside. What we worked to do late into the evening, into the early morning hours, was to contain that area, cover it up, so students and people that were coming to the site today did not see what we saw yesterday as we drove up to it. And if you look on the right, so what we had to do, because the issue was contained to a hallway, and I'm proud to say it did not get into the classroom. There was no damage to the classrooms, but just behind that door on the right, we've sealed off from student and staff access. There is one classroom on the other side of that door that we have relocated for the next 3 days while we continue to clean the area and remove the smoke, the remaining smoke smell from the hallway that's in there. And then on the left, you can see that's with the door open. You can see the air blowing equipment there on the left that is moving, cleaning the air and moving the smoke out. So again, this is something to celebrate because we did respond. Staff was there on Sunday afternoon. Some were busy at other school sites, thankfully, but we were able to get a quick response and be able to have the necessary facilities for the students and staff at Mark Twain when they came back for the first day.
Good job.
Yes, Tim and his crew certainly were there early on yesterday and stayed deep into the night, so we appreciate their work. As we wrap up this presentation, we just have a few pictures. We're not going to speak to each of the pictures, but I want to thank Becky Fortuna for going out today and taking all the pictures you see today actually were today's first day. So we're going to go through a few pictures and then a few student voices and parent voices, and then we will wrap it up for any sort of comments.
So we did get some feedback today. This is one from a student, and I think it's very appropriate. First day of school. I like coming to school to see my friends and to do math and to work hard to learn. This is STC 6th grade student at Beard Elementary School.
Elijah Zamora, Bayer High School ASB president, said, "We pride ourselves in our school spirit of making every student feel welcome and valued. We look forward to kicking the year off with this celebration because it's a way for our student body to connect. And if you've ever been to Bayer High School's first day, you know they did a great job doing that.
Parent voices. I want to commend Modesto High School for placing great priority on communication with students and families. They quickly addressed a mix-up in my daughter's schedule and emailed me first thing this morning to let me know it was being taken care of. Modesto High School parent. Staff voices. I love the start of a new school year. It means new beginnings. There are challenges with the beginnings, but it's so rewarding to watch those challenges become accomplishments and achievements. Terry Holman, adopted PE teacher.
And lastly, I'm excited to be back and to bring love to these little ones this year. Ms. Gios, thank you. Rose Avenue is a kinder teacher. So with that, as next steps, sitting with the cabinet and senior directors to really do an after-action review. What went well? Where were the gaps? So we can already begin to prepare for next year's first day of school. We also need to take a look at warm body count to look to see how many kids do we have today. So that will begin tomorrow, and that will be continued to be monitored as we make the enrollment adjustments over the next 3 weeks as we balance our classrooms out across the district. And so with that, if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them for you.
All right, I'm looking for lights from the board. If there are any questions for our staff regarding this report. Thank you for the thorough report, and thank you for the collaboration of staff to all the departments. It was great to get a full view of everything. All right, let's see if the audience has any questions or comments. Come on up to the podium, Ms. Barrera.
I love it, I love it, I love it. Debbie Barrera, we are La Raza Parents Union. All I gotta say is give credit where credit is due. I talked to a bus driver and she was ecstatic, excited to start school under the new leadership. She says she's not pressured and she wanted to thank everybody for just newness. And in saying that, as a parent advocate, I will leave with happy parents mean happy community equals successful students under the ESSA. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. You want to come on up? Yeah.
Good evening, President Newman, Board of Trustees. My name is Alexandra Hancock, and I'm one of the instructional technology trainers with the district. You guys, I know, see me back there running the cameras all the time, but I wanted to take a short break from that and talk about what I saw at La Loma today. So I spent the entire day at La Loma to support their first day of school and their first day of one-to-one with the student devices. And the reason I wanted to support them so much today is I worked with their admin team all during the last of the school year and over the PD week for their back-to-school plan. So what La Loma did, under the direction of their principal, Dan Iverson, is they got together a group of teachers and they prepared a series of lessons to orient students on what it means to be a Lancer, familiarize students with the new devices, and to get students familiar with the technology that they'll be using on site. So I worked with Dan to kind of help that. Those lessons were designed in Nearpod, which I'll talk about in just a minute, and all the teachers pushed out those lessons today so students saw the same content the first 2 days of school. I was busy all day. I've got my 10,000 steps in because I was running from classroom to classroom to help teachers answer questions and help students, but it was a really great day. And I just wanted to share a little bit of what I saw today. So today I saw students getting I saw teachers getting students into Schoology, which is our online learning management system that we offer. It allows teachers to post assignments and resources and calendar events so students and parents are informed. Students can complete those assignments and turn them in online. All that grading can be done online and sync with our gradebook program. It's a great, fabulous program for students to have all the information, and it gives parents great access. Teachers also taught the orientation lessons in Nearpod. And Nearpod is an interactive presentation tool that allows teachers to push out slides to all the students' screens, and they actually can push out interactive questions such as quick quizzes or drawing activities, and all that data comes back to the teachers in real time, so they can track in real time how their students are doing on the content. In this case, they used it to, introduce students to what it means to be a Lancer. They got through the conduct code, so they help students ask analytical questions about those items. I also spent a little bit of time today with some of the math teachers at La Loma, And their math department is actually starting on using OneNote Class Notebook with their students. And OneNote Class Notebook is an incredible, it's my favorite tool. I'm super excited about it. But it's a notebook that allows a teacher to have a unified notebook with their entire class in it. So all 30 students or 40 students could be in this notebook. Teachers can push out assignments, they can do digital inking on it quite seamlessly, they can pull in video resources, they can plug in interactive activities. It's a really fabulous resource, and I'm really excited to see the math department taking that on this year. So I just want to take a moment because I was incredibly impressed with La Loma's, their administration's vision for the start of the school year. Just walking around to the classrooms, I was so impressed with the students. They were taking the devices really quickly, they were respectful, they were asking good questions, they were focused. So I was really impressed with the students, and I was also really impressed with the teachers. I know La Loma has a good population of more tech-nervous teachers. I've worked with them, and the teachers seem to really be embracing it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for sharing with us. And thank you for your enthusiasm. We appreciate seeing you out here. All right, Mr. Jones.
All right, I just heard everybody talking, say all this good stuff here. It's all good, but I'm concerned in your human resource department, your number of new hires. Now, I hope that there's a very good diversity hiring teachers in these departments. You say you got 94 certification and 47 classified and 14 managers. Now, you know, welcome to Modesto. I hope that some of that hiring was African Americans, especially our teachers. I remember some time ago, maybe 10 years ago, we fought this issue. And I'm back up here again. I'm going to say this again because I don't want them to go to Stockton and Patterson. That's where they got hired. Some of our good teachers, African Americans, they went to Stockton and Patterson. So in your human resource department, I hope that we had a chance to hire. I don't know what you did, so I may be talking, but I just wanted to, say that. I have to make that statement because I love diversity. I really do. And as I was looking at all this here, you guys got the color, I got the black and the white, so I can't really see who all's down there. So, but anyway, Cindy, hello. Cindy's on the board with us at the Parkers Committee, so I want to recognize her.
She says hi.
All right, Cindy, I'm here.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jones. We can probably address statistics on our staff at a later date when we get a thorough report, but if you have any numbers to report at this point or no.
Yeah, we can come back. I don't have specifics broken down, Mr. Jones, but I could tell you we go to a lot of job fairs, and we're actively looking for the best teachers, the best support staff, the best everything, and that it represents diversity in our teaching ranks. We know that's important, not only to the community, but to the board and for our students as well. I can't speak for someone who was in this chair 6-7 years ago, but I can tell you I go out to those events myself. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Henderson. All right, Ms. Mitchell, good
Hi,
evening.
Yes, good evening. So I just wanted to congratulate the board and the people involved in taking an interest in putting some money where your voices have been in terms of upgrading the school's cafeterias to do the single point entries in some of the schools that you've done that. I hear the enthusiasm in your voice, the joy in which you made your presentations, and that's wonderful to observe. And I think all of that needs to be complimented and to keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming up here tonight. All right, anyone else? All right, that takes us back to the board. This is just a report, but if there's any comments, I'm looking for lights, and this is Trustee Walker.
I just want to thank everybody for all the work and all the effort that went into getting the first day back. I think it's amazing what happened with the fire and the way that you were able to respond. Is we already said thank you, but well done. I think the work that they do in the business office is amazing, and it wasn't in tonight's report, but I had a parent come to me with an issue about a month ago, and between the superintendent and business services and your staff, that question was answered, and they were back up and working in business this week, and they were happy. I think the one thing I haven't found out yet, because I haven't seen my kids, and I'll be watching because it'll be very interesting with Enoch's and lunch and all the kids on one lunch period. But I'm confident because we had the presentation at the last meeting or the meeting before that, and the different ways they're distributing, putting it around. But that is the one conversation I'm waiting to hear, is that is a lot of students at one time eating. But I've got confidence, and I think it's just commendable how much work goes into getting this done and seeing the bus drivers in a very different position than we saw the bus drivers 6 months ago. I think the other thing that's encouraging is when you talk about the single point access, that was the one story I heard from my wife this week because she volunteers over in the Sylvan District, and they started the week before us. And they took their single point entries and ratcheted it up about 3 notches higher. But it's just interesting because everybody's talking about the same things. And it's just a positive note that we're doing the same things and involving our staff and doing work in-house and responding to parents and teachers and staff needs and getting everybody fired up for another year that's the way we ought to start this out, and it feels pretty good.
All right, Trustee West.
I wanted to thank everyone for the work as well, and I especially appreciate the pictures of the kids. This is my first back-to-school day that I've been retired, and the first day of school was always my favorite day of the whole year because those kids come in with their bright, shiny faces, their new backpacks, their new sneakers, just so excited to learn. And so this is the first time since I've retired that I kind of miss being in the school. So thank you for sharing that. You guys did a great job. I appreciate it.
Trustee Brown.
Well, I can tell you that it was a blast to be on a campus this morning and feel the energy. And what I noticed about that energy was that it's not today's energy. This was a whole summer of preparation and lots of work and lots of effort. And that energy and the enthusiasm was not just with the students, but it was with the staff and everyone at all levels seems to be anxious for what's happening this year. So I'm anxious to see the outcomes. I think we've got some great things ahead of us. We've got some challenges. We've got a lot of hurdles to jump, but hey, we've got a great start to a great year. And thank you to everyone who's been involved in making that happen.
All right. Well, thank you. I just want to echo my colleagues' statements. I want to particularly call out Mr. Zierli and your staff with the fire at Mark Twain. I think that was a little disconcerting, and you guys all jumped to it. And then with the dynamic changes in transportation, that's exciting. Since I've been on this board, that is, I don't think I've heard that kind of enthusiasm. So I'm really excited about that. So thank you for your dedication to that. I can report from my 2 kids that I talked to that on their way home from school that it was a positive first day at Modesto High. So would you say that too, Ms. Benz? Good deal. It always is. Mo High pride. So then that's just a report. So that takes us on to item number B6, which is a report of meetings attended by Board of Education members. I'm looking for lights, and the first one up is Trustee Brown.
Got a couple of things I want to report, and before anybody leaves, can I just make one statement? One of the most important meetings that I attend on a regular basis is the bond committee meeting that I'm actively involved in. And want to thank MTA for their tremendous support in that effort. I was excited. We have another meeting this week. I was excited to see that we have 4,356 employees in the district. We have an event coming up that I'm hoping a very high percentage of those employees at all level will participate with. And I would also invite the entire community to join us. October 6th, we have a precinct walk where we're going to be passing out information about the bond measures D and E. Would invite everyone, including personally every member of my board, to join me walking precincts, sharing information. You see the great things that are happening that happened this summer to improve safety on our campuses. We can take that to a much higher level if we're able to raise the money through the bond or the bond initiatives that are on the ballot in November. So thank you for the support, but thank you in advance to the entire district for supporting, and the entire community for supporting us on October 6th as we walk precincts and encourage the community to vote. Thank you. I did attend another meeting that I want to share. The let me back up. Stanislaus County School Boards Association met this past week, and we've got some exciting information to share. For the first time, that organization has recognized the importance of our student representatives to school boards, and we've committed new funds to making sure that there is uniform training across all the districts so that our student board members can be as effective as possible. And with that, we have agreed that we'd like to invite our student representatives to join us at our fall dinner meeting at no expense to the district. So Shelby, we hope you'll be at the table with us.
All right. Thank you, Trustee Brown. All right, Trustee Irvin.
Yes, thank you. I attended the LCR meeting last week, Latino Community Roundtable, where the guest speaker was Congressman Jeff Denham, and quite a few folks there, and he was taking, after he spoke, he was taking questions from the audience, and the barrage of questions actually filled out a card, and they actually asked him the question, because the question I had was, last year, I think the President, Trump administration rescinded the military being able for DACA recipients to join the military last year. And I wanted to know what was the rationale behind that, and how could he help, rescind that, because you had a lot of DACA recipients are in the military, currently in the military, but being processed, being given honorable discharge, but nonetheless they're not trying to leave. And so I wanted to find out what he felt about that. Didn't really ask, so I'm a veteran, he's a veteran. He just was saying that he's in support of DACA and sensible DACA legislation, but he never got to about the military, so to speak, in terms of why they're being booted out of the military or prevented from going into the military, where before they had that opportunity, and that was a fast track for them to become citizens by serving our country. So just wanted to pass that on.
Thank you. All right. Any more lights? All right.
I would like to speak.
Oh, yes. Thank you for letting us know, Trustee Marks.
All right, I know. Finally, somebody to push it for me. Thank you. I just wanted to say three things. I want to welcome John and Shelby to their first board meeting, and what an exciting meeting to be at and to hear all about the first day of school. And so I just appreciate just them being there, and I'm sorry I can't be there to welcome you. The second thing is the superintendent and I went to the Cal SSD meeting, and we got to hear about the Janus decision on the Supreme Court and its implications for our school district and other school districts in California and actually in the nation. It was a very informative and helpful meeting. And then I also was able to attend with Adolfo, Trustee Lopez and Trustee Brown. We went to the South Modesto Partnership to celebrate the teachers and staff and just do an appreciation for them. It's put on by the South Modesto Partnership by Jose Zabala, and then his board with Sergio Lara was there, and then Manos Unidos also was there, and Manuel, and I can't remember the other person, but maybe Adolfo can help me out there. They shared about their experience as being students at Bret Hart, and that was this year the school that hosted the event was at Bret Hart. We got to be in the beautiful cafeteria there with air conditioning, so it was our first time to be in air conditioning. It's the third year, and the South Modesto Partnership celebrates the teachers and staff at Hanshaw, Shackelford, Tuolumne, Bret Hart, and Fairview schools. So it's just a really neat way that the community wants to celebrate our staff and teachers. So I just want to thank them and just publicly acknowledge just the kindness and thoughtfulness that they do for our teachers and staff. And start the school year last Thursday. That's how we started the school year for them. So thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank you. All right. Any more lights? All right. That takes us to the last item on the agenda. Items to be placed on future board education agendas. Trustee Walker.
I already passed this to the superintendent earlier today, but what I've asked for is to come back at the next meeting and give a presentation to my fellow board members on the process I've sort of put in place for going through board bylaw and policy development. And I've started working this process with Cindy Marks a bit. It goes back to sort of 2 years ago when I started this, and the ways I've sort of tuned it after completing the Masters in Governance program. And so the goal is to come back and present to you guys how I work through that with a couple sample policies so that we all can sort of see what that process looks like as we move forward and make decisions together.
Great. All right. Anyone else? All right. That takes us to the last item, actually the last item, which is I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Okay. The student representative of the board, Shelby Benz, makes a motion, and the motion has been seconded by Trustee Irvin. And we still have to call the roll if Cindy's still on the line with us.
Yes, I'm still on the line.
Okay. I know.
Student Trustee Benz. Trustee Brown.
No.
Trustee Irvin.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez. Aye. Trustee Marks.
Aye.
Trustee Walker.
Aye.
Trustee West. Aye. And President Newman.
Aye. We are adjourned.